Well, we'll start our program now. Good afternoon. Now it is afternoon. Oh, no, it's still morning. Good morning, soon to be afternoon. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the Greater Houston Area's annual International Women's Day commemoration with today's kickoff proclamation ceremony. Rima, would you like to join me? I'm Dan Stoker, President of the United Nations Association of USA Houston Chapter. Dr. Rima Dill is the Vice President of the chapter and the Chair of International Women's Day, so she'll be taking over here after my brief remarks. She's the boss today in running the program. She'll also be introducing guests and our sponsors and recognizing others. The United Nations Association is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization affiliated with the United Nations Foundation and dedicated to educating, inspiring, and mobilizing Houstonians to strengthen the United Nations system. This includes achieving the goals set forth in the founding UN Charter and the world's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, with goal number 5 being achieve gender equity and empowering all women and girls. Throughout 2022, all of our United Nations Association activities will be focused on commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And if you can believe, after 75 years of our adoption, this is what we need to realize. It's time to end violence against women and girls. It's time to achieve gender equality. It's time to acknowledge that women's rights are human rights, and equality is a birthright of every girl and woman. And we won't stop until they are equal everywhere. Are you with us? Okay, great. So to kick off this event, it's my pleasure now, representing the City of Houston, to bring to the stage and recognize City Council Member Carla Cisneros. If you could join us, Council Member. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Well, it is such an honor and a privilege to be here. I am so grateful to all of you and to the United Nations Association. You know, we also have other efforts that are really inspired by this organization. You know, that as Houston is a child-friendly city, and that's one of the tenets too. And so it's with great pleasure that I can read this proclamation from Mayor Sylvester Turner. Whereas International Women's Day was established in 1975 as part of the United Nations' decades-long continuum of affirming the principle of equality between women and men, the day presents an ideal opportunity to reflect on past struggles and progress made, recognizes that much remains to be done to improve the status of women and girls, considers ways to address present challenges, and reaffirms our commitment to advancing gender equality and unleashing the potential of future generations of women. And whereas the United Nations has helped create a historic legacy of internationally agreed strategies, standards, programs, and goals to advance the status of girls and women worldwide, and continues to stand with girls and women around the world as they fight to overcome the injustices they face. And whereas the United Nations Association Houston chapter is committed to shaping a better future by promoting human rights and equality for all, with the realization that women's participation makes peace agreements stronger, societies more resilient, and economies more vigorous. And whereas the United Nations Association Houston chapter recognizes that gender equality is a human rights issue inextricably tied to justice, freedom, and peace, the chapter pledges to take action to stand up for the rights of women and girls and play the crucial role of civil society in leading global action on gender equality. And whereas on March 8th, 2023, International Women's Day will be celebrated in countries around the world, it is a day to recognize women for their achievements without regard to divisions, whether national, ethnic, linguistic, cultural, economic, or political. The City of Houston joins in celebrating women around the world as they continue to positively impact society, break barriers, and empower each other, and extends best wishes on a memorable celebration. Therefore, I, Carla Cisneros, on behalf of Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proclaim March 8th, 2023 as International Women's Day.
You can take
Want
it for
to
the,
maybe stand on the...
yeah, we'll stand on the side here for the pictures. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Cisneros, for joining us. We appreciate it very much. Yeah, thank you very,
Thank you.
thank you. And before I turn over the program to the program chair, Dr. Rima Adil, we are going to be having a reception afterwards. There's some extra chairs over here. If some other people come in, you're welcome to come over for these chairs. This is a kickoff ceremony. We're very excited that throughout the day, there's going to be events and activities by many other organizations now celebrating International Women's Day. We're happy to see that momentum being created now in the city of Houston. And City Hall, we moved it to this to lunchtime so we could make sure those events were able to not compete with this too. And we moved this to lunchtime, but we usually like it at the evening because right away then the City Hall is lit purple in celebration. So that's going to happen tonight too as well. So with that, Dr. Rima Adil. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Good morning, everyone. It is still morning, and we appreciate you taking time today to be with us today. And I know there are a lot of competing and lavish celebrations going on around the city, so we appreciate you being here. March 8th, as we have heard today, we celebrate nationally, actually globally, for last 100 years, it's International Women's Day that is celebrated on March 8th. So it's a global celebration of the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. And we know how women have been serving in every role these days. So let's begin for standing up for women, whether if you are a mom or you are a social leader or a political leader or all kind of women. Let's just stand and give them an applause. Thank you. So with that said, we have, this event is made possible by several sponsors and support from the citywide leaders. I'm going to be announcing that in a little bit, but we have some of our leaders here who are going to be making some presentations today. So with that said, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Frances Glover. She's the president at Houston Community College Southeast. She rejoined us after she left as Associate Vice Chancellor and brought a lot of energy. So if there is an organization that is not shook by her energy, then just let us know. We will get you connected. Dr. Glover is, HCC is ranked second among all community colleges in the nation for providing associate degrees to minorities and first in education international students enrollment. With the student population of 81,000 students. Dr. Glover has worked higher education for 25 years, and she had a career in education spanning across 6 states, working K through 12 community colleges and Higher Education National Association. Thank you, Dr. Glover, for being here. With that, please join us on this stage. Thank you.
Well, good morning and almost good afternoon. What a beautiful, beautiful day. And I just love the colors in the room. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to personally thank Dr. Adil. Rima, you are a superstar. And the things that we do at Houston Community College could not be done without the people like you. And so I want to thank you for your leadership and thank you for all you do for HCC in our community. So please give a round to Dr. Adil, please. I also want to take time to acknowledge my colleagues in the room who work for Houston Community College. We are a big system, and some of the colleagues I have in the room I haven't seen in a couple of years, so it's so great to see people in person. So if you work for Houston Community College, please stand up. These are the folks that actually make it happen and make presidents like us look good. I am just one of six presidents. I have the honor of serving for the Southeast College. And if you ever want a tour, I'd be more than happy to give you a tour of our beautiful, beautiful campus and our beautiful students who attend. So we celebrate this day to recognize a very important milestone. And I just learned it was 100 years we've been celebrating this, and every year I celebrate it with my family as well. I also have the honor of being the mother of 4 daughters and 3 sons, and I make sure that my sons and daughters understand the value of the diversity in schools as well as the workplace. So we come to celebrate each other, right? And like I said, I love the colors in the room, and celebrate our achievements, but also as well help create a safe space for women. And I found the statistics very interesting as I was looking at the history of women and technology in particular, right? We know that technology is changing every day and evolving, and we just can't keep up with it. So I found it interesting by the year 2050, which seems like Star Trek years, right? It's really not. It's like tomorrow. Jobs related to STEM and technology, 75% of those jobs that we're out there will be related to technology and STEM. But women only account for 22% in the area of artificial intelligence. So if you have not read about AI or ChatGPT, I encourage you to look and to investigate what opportunities there are for women. You know, personally for me, I've been in higher ed for 30 years. I was just sharing with my new friends here in the front, Mary. I went to a Catholic all-girls school a long time ago. And 2 classes I could take across the street at the boys' school was Latin and computer science. Well, get what classes I took. I took both. But that's where I fell in love with computer science and computers. Again, that was a very long time ago. If you guys remember Fortran and those floppy disks and those big, big servers, everybody, we're showing our age, aren't we? That's where I fell in love with computers. And I went to Texas A&M University. I bleed maroon. And unfortunately, the advisor that I had discouraged me from going into computer science, felt that I wasn't a good fit for computer science because there's no girls taking computer science. But hey, life happens for a reason, right? So this is where I am now, and I'm very passionate about what I do because our students at Houston Community College are amazing, right, colleagues? They are amazing. You know, education is just not linear. It doesn't just start and end. And so we are so excited, and I'll just give you some examples. I'll put a plug in, given that I hold privilege of standing here, is that in fall of 2023, Houston Community College will offer a bachelor's degree in artificial intelligence. So we are really keeping up, and we are really excited. You know, AI, we're going to have to embrace it. We shouldn't be scared of it. Also programs like cybersecurity, some notes I wrote, multimedia technology, graphics arts, engineering, advanced manufacturing, embracing technology and using that creativity. The one thing that I think women, and we all can agree, women have to a strength that perhaps men can't keep up with is our creativity, right? We're resilient. We are mothers, we are wives, we know how to be resilient, to be strong, and so technology at Houston Community College is really, you know, we're at the forefront of all we do, and we're so excited. Our students won a world competition in artificial intelligence using drone just recently, so very proud of those achievements. But for me personally, on a personal note, I've seen the magic and transformation that technology can have on an individual, and especially a woman who wants to embrace technology. Several years ago, 20 years ago actually, I worked for Microsoft as a subcontractor. And we had a program for women who didn't have a high school degree. And so we set classes in the high schools so that when they dropped off their children, it was actually, elementary school, they were able to take classes. That became to be a domino effect. And so we know what transformation, how education can transform lives. Not only did she get a degree, her daughter, who was in elementary school, started doing better in school because mom and dad were doing homework together. The father ended up taking classes. So we see the transformation of education and technology happening, and I'm so proud to be part of it. And I want to thank you for coming together, because part of what we do here is not only celebrate, but also as a community come together and collaborate together to push women, especially in the area of technology. We heard about the gaps that we have still, and there's so much work to do. And so I applaud you. I applaud you for being here, Dr. Adil and the rest of the individuals from the United Nations Association. Thank you for all your work. Community College is right behind you, and City of Houston is right behind you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Glover. Before we move on to our next speaker, are there any elected officials who are among us? If you can please stand and be acknowledged. Good morning, how are you? Come on in. So our next speaker for today is Judge Julie Matthew. Julie Matthew is the presiding judge of County Court at Law in Fort Bend County, a general jurisdiction court handling criminal misdemeanor cases, juvenile felonies, misdemeanor, probate, civil mental health, and domain cases. Judge Matthew also created a specialty court, the Juvenile Intervention and Mental Health for JIMH Court, so that kids in the system who have mental health issues can become successful members of society. It costs more to incarcerate someone rather than to rehabilitate them. What a wonderful job you're doing. Please come on up and join us on this stage. Thank you.
Still good morning. Thank you, Dr. Adil and Mr. Stoker, for inviting me today. Good morning again on behalf of my grandmothers, Anna Daniel and Mariama John, both homemakers, and my mother, Susama Thomas, a registered nurse. I greet you all with felicitations of International Women's Day 2023. My name is Julie Matthew, and I'm the presiding judge of County Court of Law Number 3. When elected for the first time in 2018, I became the first Indian American woman elected to the bench in the United States and the first Asian American judge in Fort Bend County. Thank you. Thank you. Never in my ancestors' wildest dreams did they think that they would be able to have a judge in their future lineage. A girl born in a tiny village in Kerala, India, would be presiding over cases in a court in the United States. To me, this is the power of International Day of Women and the theme of this year, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. To reach gender equality, we must acknowledge that the historical, social norms and lack of opportunity that women were allowed to reach has affected not just women, but our society as a whole. In a culture and community where women's voices are not heard or shut down, my mother told me at a very young age, I can do whatever I choose to, that I'm not limited by my gender, that I'm not limited being a woman, that I can do anything that a man can. Now, this is not the norm in the Indian community. My grandfather, who also had 3 girls of his own, just like me, instilled that in her, and that she passed that strength on to me. And I hope to do the same for my 3 daughters. It is for each one of us to continue to teach the girls in our lives to strive and pursue their dreams and hopes without any limitations, that they can accomplish whatever they set out to do. I have carried that with me every time I enter a room, or when the imposter syndrome strikes, when we feel that we're not able or we're not capable. When I doubt my own capabilities, I remember what my mother said, you can do it. Look, I also remember how far I came from that girl who got on a plane and came to a land that she didn't know, who slept on a stained mattress in a one-bedroom apartment in North Philadelphia that the previous tenant left behind, who couldn't speak proper English, one who wore no frill clothing, who was bullied for not speaking the language, and also never having come across an Indian American before. To someone who said, the judiciary must reflect the community, and that one female judge cannot be the representation of all of the county courts of 5 other courts that inhabited in Fort Bend County to run and win with the highest number of votes in Fort Bend for the local elected candidates that year. I had to prove, not just to myself, but to my girls and all those who look like me, that we're not perpetual immigrants, and we are part of this fabric of this great nation. I belong, and this is my place as an Indian, as an American, and most importantly, as a woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Judge Julie. And next, we like to invite Attorney Bridget Smith Lawson. Ms. Lawson is a 20-year public servant and a 20-year licensed attorney. In November 2022, Mrs. Smith Lawson was elected as county attorney in Fort Bend, making her the first Black woman county attorney in Texas and of Fort Bend history. As the county attorney, she manages an office of attorney and support staff that is directly responsible for providing legal advice and representation to the county commissioners, department heads, and every aspect of county government, including law enforcement. In addition to the office, represents the state in child welfare cases. So we welcome you. Attorney Lawson, please come join us on this stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here. And, you know, every time someone reads that, my bio, and they say the first, it brings chills to me. And I can tell you this, it's an out-of-body experience because I remember when I started a long time ago. And a similar story to Judge Julie Matthews, this was not something that I could ever envision myself being or an undertaking of my life. I was born to a single mother. I don't know my father. I grew up in poverty. I grew up with every barrier a Black girl could have trying to make it in this world. I know that my role and the placement of me in this role as a county attorney is not just for me, but it's for every young lady that comes behind me. It's for every woman that aspires. It's for every girl that I pass by trying to get on the 77 MLK or the 52 Scott, which was once me, that I can tell them in their face that they can make it. I tell you today, the celebration of International Women's Day is the celebration of, yes, the accomplishments of women, but it should also be the charge to women to look out and look back for every little sister, every daughter, every niece that is left behind, who feels hopeless, who feels as though they can't make it. We are charged to do the work of God and also to serve His people. And that means reaching out to those who are hopeless, reaching out to women who feel as though they are defenseless, who feel as though they are disenfranchised, who feel as though they are disengaged. It is our duty to reach out to them. So yes, I love this mountaintop experience today, but I always say, After we leave the mountaintop experience, there's work to do. Yes, I'm the first Black female county attorney, but as I tell people, I hope that I'm not the last. I hope there's many more to come. And the only way that that will happen is if women who have achieved never forget the women who have not, the women who struggle with poverty, and yes, the women who are struggling in the digital divide, remembering that they have an opportunity to succeed if we so help them to get there. So I'm grateful to be here. I love the celebration of women today, but I also want to encourage all of us that yes, we have achieved, but we have a duty to reach out for our sisters to help them achieve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Attorney Lawson. It's wonderful to see you guys are really sticking to your timeline. Among us, the next guest, a very special guest, she is our council member from District D, Dr. Carolyn Evans Shabazz. She's a native Estonian from 3rd Ward, Texas, and a proud graduate of Jack Yates High School. Dr. Shabazz has a master's degree in psychology and a doctorate in education from Texas Southern University. Although she wears many hats, she had a long career working as a teacher and a lead evaluation specialist before retiring from Houston Independent School District in 2009. She stays very active in the community, addressing issues to bring about equality for all people. Dr. Evan Shabazz is a member of Alpha Kappa sorority and is a member of Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. She was also a trustee at Houston Community College, and she has served District 4 as the first African-American female chairwoman of the board for 2 consecutive years. Dr. Shabazz, we welcome you to the stage. Please join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I thought I wasn't expected, and then she got up and read a bio. So I don't know if she got it off of her phone or what, but certainly I am so very honored to stand here. I am Councilmember Carolyn Evans Shabazz, the council member for District D, what I call the District of Destination. And certainly I am honored to see so many, oh my God, I see so many people from the Houston Community College. And it just always warms my heart because I love HCC and the opportunities that are afforded to everyone. And so if you know somebody that feels they can't succeed and there are some things that they want to do in life, because I always tell people that it's not just about the terminal degrees, the masters, the doctorates, because I can't fix my own car. I can't fix my lights, my plumbing, whatever. And so we have to value people where they are and what they bring to the table. And so that's why I always tell people, don't you tell anybody they're not college material. Don't you tell them that, because college is anything that puts you in a position to legally take care of your families. And the Houston Community College certainly affords those opportunities. But in line with what's going on and what the previous speaker said, we do have a responsibility to pull someone with us. My mantra is, if I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then my living shall not be in vain. And certainly when we pull other people up, because you need to do that, because it gets pretty lonely at the top, and we have to honor each other and bring each other up. And I want to applaud you gentlemen who are here as well, because apparently you have the vision, because women, actually, we need to be celebrated every day for all of the things that we do. But we'll take this one. We'll take this one. But certainly, welcome to City Hall. I don't know if anyone has officially welcomed you. I think you did get a proclamation. But I mean, I'm going to do that anyway, because my heart is so very full for just seeing you all here today. And certainly, we will continue to move forward, because that's what we do. And normally, when there's progress made, there's a woman in the mix. Let's just be honest, because we make the wheels turn, okay? And so certainly
honor yourselves, honor your people that are around you, male or female, actually, but of course, we know this is Women's International Day, and so we're going to certainly reach back to our sisters, our children, our nieces, nieces. We'll get to nephews maybe another month, but certainly, thank you for coming today. And again, I am so very honored to stand here as the council member for District D, and certainly being the first African-American female chairman of the board of the Houston Community College is something that I will always be honored, and it just fills my heart because I was in a place where I could help others. And certainly I just made it a step up, and just maybe I can still make an impact. Although I speak of the Houston Community College very often, I certainly want everyone to know how honored and humbled I am to be here. So thank you so very much, and enjoy City Hall.
Thank you, Dr. Shabazz, and thank you for also representing Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. They are doing a lot of good work in creating and training leaders. So thank you so much. Last but least, we also have among us Ms. Urusa Nawaz. Urusa Nawaz, she's the Director of Digital Management at NRG Energy Incorporation. Her passion is customer service, delivering growth by understanding, meeting, and anticipating customer needs. Urusa Nawaz is the Director of Digital Management at NRG Energy Incorporation and has over 22 years of retail energy and service experience leading digital customer experience, billing, data insights, and operation teams. Urusa started her career as an IT analyst and gives credit to call center agents for shaping her approach. Applications are not just lines of code, but tools that makes the difference between good or bad customer experience and how agents feel about their jobs. She holds an MBA in Management and Strategy from Arkansas State University and Bachelor of Science from University of Punjab, Pakistan. Urusa, if you are among us, please join us on the stage. Thank you.
I think it is good afternoon now, finally, right? So, happy International Day to all of you. I would like to thank you, Dr. Adel, to give me the opportunity to share really. I want to talk about how the evolution of technology is actually reshaping the type of women that are entering the technology, basically, so especially in the retail energy industry. Before I go into that, I want to really do acknowledge that we do have seen a change. We have a lot more females in the technology field entering there, and it's really thanks to all these organizations, including United Nations, that have made the difference. So I want to pause there. We still have a long way to go. We're not there, but I would like to just pause and acknowledge that and just celebrate that for us. So let's talk about the evolution of technology. So technology, the way I see it, has evolved from being efficiency to customer focus to really reshaping is tech for good. So how can we solve global issues? With that, we start with efficiency, right? We had systems that we were building, which was just to run the business. I remember building those systems back there, just making sure the call center is running, the billing systems are running. And the people that we were attracting at that time, which included me, was people who had technical skills and had the aptitude of problem solving. That's really the skills that we were looking for. But at the same time, that field was dominated by men. So there was entry to barrier and advancement both. Now, we moved a little bit further. What we saw was the evolution of technology actually bringing smart meters into the Texas region especially, right? We had insights into customer data at this point. We also saw the change of digital channels. So the way we communicate with our customers, the way they're demanding to communicate with us changed. So we had to change from being efficient to really be customer focused. That created a gap, actually, in the industry. We needed people, and this gap was really filled by a woman, right? We needed people who were strong communicators. We needed people who had empathy, right? And I will tell you, I run a group today. I'm the director for the direct energy part of the group. I run the digital group, 56% of my group is females. And they're thriving in that. Because that's a niche that there was a gap that needed to be filled, and that gap was filled by these women. So I'm really excited to see that shift coming in. Now we're entering a new era. We have renewable energy technologies, right? With wind power, solar power. We have technology coming up to be able to store, so storage technology. We have AI, we talked about it. That's totally a game changer at this point. And what I'm seeing now is the shift in the technology evolution where we're being used for how to solve for the global issues. Tech for good is what we call it, right? And what does that mean to the workforce that we need coming in? We need people, what I'm seeing is, which is very exciting, is women are now basically entering the technology field because they see the potential how to use the technology to actually make a positive impact in the world. So that's a real shift. You're not entering the technology industry for the sake of technology, which is what I entered for, right? I have a daughter who's 15 years old. She's been coding since she was 9, right? But she's passionate about sustainability. She wants to do data science, but she doesn't want to do data science because she's good at technology. She really wants to make a difference. This is a very interesting shift that we are seeing, and I think as technology will grow to evolve, we'll have new opportunities, and this is really, it's an interesting time as far as I can see, and really is going to open a whole lot of new opportunities for females. So I'm excited where we are going with the technology, and just wanted to take a few minutes to share that with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arusha. And at this time, I'd like to conclude the program. These were all our speakers. These were the wonderful speakers, and we had a great flavor of all the industry. At least that's how we try to put this program together. But before we end, we have some announcements, and I'd like to invite Daniel Stoker to the stage.
So thank you all. Before we go to the reception, Councilmember Shabazz is going to be, she just stepped out for a minute, but she's going to be rejoining, staying here so we can take photos with your groups, with other officials, with our distinguished speakers. So that's going to be great. I did want to mention, though, she talked about the leadership role of women, and my life experiences and what data also shares with global development advances throughout the world. It always and almost only happens when women's leadership is present and when a community provides equity of opportunity for education and other human rights to women. That's the number one reason for advancement in any community worldwide. So I've witnessed that and seen it. So again, thank you all our speakers. What inspiring stories. That was great. Some of you I know, and I didn't know the story, so thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'd like to also thank our longtime partner and host, the City of Houston, and Mayor Turner's longtime support in partnership with the United Nations and his activities throughout the city with the championing the global goals. Also the staff that we work very closely with the Mayor's Office of Trade and International Affairs. And I'd like to also point out, by the way, I saw Director Shannon Buggs came in too. Where is she? Thank you, Director Buggs, for joining us. And then I also see the state officer for the Texas Black Caucus is here, Ms. Constance Jones. Could you stand up and say hi? Yeah, thank you for joining us. And then finally, our event partners, Houston Community College, the Links, longtime partner with Houston UNA, USA, and also the National UNA USA and worldwide too. So thank you very much for all of your support and work and all that you do in the community too. So thank you. All right. And then we also have the Alliance as well, that's been a partner and supporter. It's a nonprofit organization here in Houston. So thank you for your help and support in promoting this event. And then the Counselor Corps, who we work with on many programs, which leads us right into our next program, just to let you know about the last announcement, is our next program is Dialogue with Diplomats. It'll be held at Houston Community College. Which campus is that? At the Alief Hayes campus on April 18th, and it'll be featuring a light lunch and a conversation with the Consul General of the Ukraine. So you please join us. You're all welcome for that. It should be a very interesting conversation that we'll be able to have with the Consul General and also be enjoying some ethnic food too. So with that, thank you all very much. We have a reception. Please stay and let's take pictures too. All right, thank you.
So can we invite the presenters to the stage for a group picture?